It's a great day, sports world. What's up to all the sports lovers, haters, addicts, fanatics? This is Larry Patterson, GT365. Game Time 365 Sports, yeah, you know all that. So, now we are here. The start of the NFL season. Couldn't be more of a beautiful time. Didn't seem like it was going to be here, but it crept up on us. So tomorrow night is the first game of the season. Detroit Lions facing off against the Kansas City Chiefs. The NFL kind of went a different way. We was expecting maybe a division rival. We was expecting maybe one of the other teams like a Buffalo or Jacksonville or Cincinnati, but the NFL went a different way. They saw that the Detroit Lions were a team that was hot going toward the end of last season, and they had a good draft. They had a good offseason, added a few players, and they saw the potential that this team was going in. And truth be told, I think they did a good job with it. Now the games have to be played. The Chiefs do lead this series 9-5. They don't play that often. The last time that these two teams played was September 29th of 2019. The Chiefs won that game 34-30. The Chiefs had won the last two meetings. In that game, Pat Mahomes threw for 315. He did Pat Mahomes things. I don't think he threw no touchdowns, though. 7.5 yards per attempt. He had an 81 rating. Threw the ball 42 times. Travis Kelce, 7 catches, 85 yards. Your touchdowns came, I want to say, special teams or other receivers. Darrell Williams had the 20-second run-in where he had the touchdown, and that was 20 seconds in the game right there. And that's how they won that. Matt Stafford was on that team, that Detroit Lions team then. He was 21 of 34, 291 yards. He had 8.6 yards per attempt, 118 on the rate. These two names right here, Kerryon Johnson, 26 carries, 125 yards, and Kenny Golladay, when he was creeping to the prime, what we thought would be the prime of his career. He had 5 catches, 67 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Marvin Jones, who's back with the team now, 3 catches for 77 yards. But that was then, and this is now. And Detroit, with the additions that they made in the offseason, they lost a few players. Then they gained a few players, whether it was in free agency, in the draft. They are one of the more hyped up teams going into an NFL season. They picked up Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round, a surprise pick, and picked up Jack Campbell in the second round, or it was later on in the first round. But either way, that was their second pick. So these guys got a lot to prove. Can Jahmyr Gibbs bring that new dynamic as a running back that Detroit's needed? Detroit hasn't had a good running back since Barry Sanders. And they had guys come in, but just not consistent. So, notable injuries for this game. Emmanuel Mosley, the cornerback that Detroit picked up over the offseason, he's going to be out. And Jameson Williams, of course, you know his 6-game suspension dealing with the gambling. Travis Kelce is questionable with the hyperextended knee, so we don't know the status with that. Chris Jones is on a holdout, hoping to get paid, so he won't be there tomorrow. And then the free agent Charles Omenihu, who came from San Francisco, who was supposed to be that other pass rusher. He'll be back later on in the season, but for this game, he won't be there, which that gives an advantage to Detroit because you have no Chris Jones to give you pressure. So the guys that will be bringing the pressure is George Karlaftis, who's going to his second year. He had 7 sacks, I believe, as a rookie. And then you got Mike Dana, who's been with the team for a minute. Just a rotational guy, just a guy. Derek Nottie and Tershawn Wharton, who I think is going into his 5th season. He's undrafted. He's behind Chris Jones. So that's going to be a test for him. I don't know if he's a free agent or not, but if he is, what a way to kick off your 2023 campaign into getting the bag next season. We already know about Pat Mahomes with what he's got going on. I still think this game is going to be a shootout. Maybe a 40-something to 43-38. I got the Chiefs winning the game, but other guys like Isaiah Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, whichever direction they go with the running backs. Travis Kelce might not be there. Kadarius Toney, who knows his status. But you got Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Sky Moore, who's projected to have a good year, and then Rashee Rice, who I think is going to be very underrated, the rookie wide receiver. So offensive line, Donovan Smith, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey at the center, Trey Smith, Jawan Taylor. We're going to see about Donovan Smith. He's been kind of these past couple seasons. Put him in the Kansas City system. Let's see what he does. Will that offensive line still be as good? Going against them will be Aiden Hutchinson going into his second year. He had a big year last year. Charles Harris on the other side. I thought it might have been James Houston, but he's still in the rotation. Aleem McNeil and Isaiah Buggs got the potential to be one of the underrated interior pass rushing duos right there. I really like Aleem McNeil. Jack Campbell, let's see what he can do tomorrow. He'll be highlighted. Alex Anzalone, the secondary, which I think could be pretty good, led by Cam Sutton. You got Jerry Jacobs, who's been he was an undrafted free agent. He's been in Detroit for a minute. You picked up Chauncey Gardner-Johnson up in the offseason, and Kirby Joseph, who was a draft pick last year. You still got Brian Branch, who could have a big year as well. Kansas City's secondary is also fairly not new, but it's going to get tested. With Trent McDuffie, who going into his second year, he's a former first-round pick. Jalen Watson is a former seventh-round pick last year who showed some flashes. L'Jarius Sneed might not be available for this game, or he will be. And then at the safety spot, you got Justin Reed going into his second year at Kansas City. Way to go for him, getting a championship. And then second-year player Brian Cook, who they drafted in the second round last year. It's a lot of names across this board. Don't forget the receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think that this could be a big game for Jahmyr Gibbs. Don't forget David Montgomery is there to help assist, to be a more quicker option. He can catch passes, so maybe that can be a better option for Jared Goff. Marvin Jones, like I said, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds there. And don't forget the rookie Sam Laporta. Let's see what he can bring to the table. This is going to be a high-impact match right here, high-flying, high-scoring. Don't forget about the Detroit Lions. This is a tale of two potential offensive lines that could be the best, two of the best in the league. With Detroit, Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker, the two tackles. Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Vaitai. Let's see what this game could be all about. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win this matchup right here. Is it the Detroit Lions? Is it the Kansas City Chiefs? Who you got? Football is back.